Mississippi, southern Alabama, toward the Florida panhandles we head towards later on into the evening. Some of these storms could contain some very heavy rain, and this area already saturated, so flooding could be a problem, Jen.
Well, we will continue to keep you posted on all the threat of severe weather and also tell you about the more than 2,000 people killed in an earthquake that hit Nepal yesterday. Dozens of people are still missing, buildings obviously destroyed, and even a deadly avalanche out on Mount Everest. The latest on the earthquake and how you can help, that's coming up next.
Currently in our area, 88 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, a few passing clouds. Low 75. Winds west-southwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Monday, thunderstorms developing in the afternoon. High 92. Chance of rain 80%. Monday night, late night thunderstorms. Low 75. Chance of rain 60%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Think your tropical vacation can't get any better than this? Xperio UV superior polarized sun lenses eliminate 100% of blinding reflective glare and offer the maximum UV protection. Ask for Xperio UV superior polarized sun lenses for the best vision under the sun.
TruGreen presents the Yardleys.
Sorry.
This is more than a lawn. This is a TruGreen lawn. Live life outside with TruGreen, America's #1 lawn care company. Spring is on. Start your TruGreen lawn plan today. TruGreen, live life outside.
Gone fishing. It's a sign that means we've locked up and headed off to do something we love. Luckily, there's an entire state dedicated to those little signs, with 19 million acres of woods. Gone biking, gone golfing, and the world's longest freshwater coastline. Gone rock skipping, gone sailing, gone wandering. Meet you on the playgrounds of Pure Michigan. Your trip begins at michigan.org.
I am never getting married.
Never.
Guaranteed.
You picked a beautiful ring.
Thank you. We're never having kids.
Come over here.
We are never moving to the suburbs.
We are never getting one of those. We're never having another kid.
I'm pregnant.
I'm never letting go.
For all the nevers in life, State Farm is there.
This is the new Asian-inspired broth bowl from Panera Bread. Our hero is the soba noodle, which we pair with fresh spinach, mushrooms, and chicken raised without antibiotics.
Very nice.
Then top with a soy miso broth. That's the ticket. And if you're feeling extra adventurous, try our delicious Thai chicken salad, only at Panera Bread.
The Fiat 500 isn't alone anymore. It's part of a big Italian family.
Be one with it, and it will be one with you. Be one with your tires, and the road will be one with you. Hang up tires.
So you ready for the night? And don't it feel nice?
Summer never looks so good. Bud Light Lime. Same 100% natural lime flavor in a new bottle. Summer on.
Can a protein originally found in a jellyfish improve your memory? Our scientists say yes. Researchers have discovered a protein that actually supports healthier brain function. It's the breakthrough in a supplement called Prevagen. As we age, we lose proteins that support our brain. Prevagen supplements these proteins and has been clinically shown to improve memory. It's safe and effective. For support of healthier brain function, a sharper mind, and clearer thinking, try Prevagen for yourself today.
Thompson's Water Seal Waterproofing Stain. The seal you can trust with stain and sealer in one and easy to choose colors. Exceptional beauty and protection have never been easier. Thompson's Water Seal Waterproofing Stain. Available at the Home Depot.
We want to have a look at the strong thunderstorms that are continuing across north central Texas. And Kelly, we are still looking at that tornado warning out for Erath County over to Hood and Somerville County. And again, the possible tornado going towards Granbury, over towards Toller. And again, the hail is a huge concern because we've had a lot of reports with hail from this thunderstorm.
Yeah, big time hail north of Glen Rose right now. Again, Doppler radar indicating some rotation with that. Again, you want to be seeking shelter right now. Do not wait to see it. It could be rain wrapped and may be very difficult to spot, especially now as we're getting a little bit darker too into the evening hours. So again, get to your safe place right now. Hood, Johnson, Parker counties, you're under a severe thunderstorm warning until 8:15. And just like a tornado warning, you definitely want to stay away from the windows and get to your safe place in your home.
And we have had numerous reports of hail, and as we look at some of the detection of hail from the radar, we've had reports up to around softball size in several locations with this thunderstorm just to the right over Granbury, back towards when it was to the west of you. That is when we got so many reports of the hail. And as we look even over towards Stephenville, we had numerous reports of large hail, golf ball size hail coming down in the city, and a lot of tree limbs broken as well.
All right, so we're talking baseball-size hail. Definitely put the cars away if you're in the Glen Rose area or points east, maybe Granbury. Definitely get everything put away before these storms roll on through, because they are dangerous for sure. We're going to get right back to the ongoing severe threat in just a few moments, but right now we turn to the destructive quake, the worst to hit Nepal in more than 80 years. U.S. disaster teams are now en route to the region.
And we're going to get more on the deadly quake and the rescue efforts from NBC's Kelly Cabela.
Nepal is a country in ruins, its people badly shaken and afraid, historic temples destroyed, hospitals overwhelmed. A massive quake hit just before noon without warning.
Walls were crumbling right and left. And I turned to my son and I said, oh my God, it's the earthquake. It was almost as if waves were moving you up and moving you down. And I had to hold on to the side of the car door. It was, utter terror, really.
The 7.8 earthquake shook so violently, witnesses say people jumped out of buildings to avoid being crushed. Some rescues were miraculous. The quake rattled parts of 5 countries, Chinese soldiers racing to help, families mourning in India. In Nepal's capital, Kathmandu, the 19th century Dharahara Tower, a popular tourist site, is gone. More than 50 people could be buried, and rescuers are desperately digging. To the east, on Mount Everest, Sherpas were running for their lives. The quake triggered avalanches and landslides, cascading into base camps.
Quite a few big avalanches coming down of those phases. From here, we had quite a bit of rockfall.
American Dan Fredenberg, a Google engineer, was among at least 10 who died. More than 1,000 climbers are believed to be on the mountain. Climber Karsten Peterson told NBC News he hid behind this rock as the snow barreled down. He said, "We're treating casualties. No one can leave base camp." In India, at least 30 have died. "My legs started shaking and the temple windows and walls started trembling," this caretaker said. He tried to save the kids. "We were screaming for help when the walls of the temple fell down." Experts say the danger is still real.
We've had over 20 aftershocks that are magnitude 4 or larger. We can expect these to continue for weeks, months, even years.
As night fell in Nepal under stormy skies, thousands slept outdoors, too afraid to go inside. Kelly Kobiella, NBC News, London.
And if you want to help the victims there are several charities that you can donate to.
You can see the International Federation of the Red Cross, also UNICEF, as well as a few others into Care and World Vision. Now, for more on ways to help and what these charities are doing, well, you can visit our website at weather.com.
All right, in the meantime, here in our country, we're worried about severe thunderstorms. They've already produced large hail and even tornadoes today as well. They continue to rumble across the south central plains.
We are just looking at sheets of rain coming with these thunderstorms, as well as damaging winds up to 70 miles an hour have been reported, and numerous reports across north central Texas of a lot of hail.
You can't always be there to protect her down the road. Make sure the tires she's riding on will. With the revolutionary Michelin Premier tire, even as it wears down over time, its safety doesn't, thanks to Evergrip technology. The Michelin Premier tire, safe when new, safe when worn.
That's looking good. So we build things to harness it.
That's awesome.
They hit the water, game on.
Up here in Southeast Alaska, the Coast Guard's last line of defense.
This is about how far you can push yourself.
Currently in our area, 88 degrees under partly cloudy skies. Tonight, a few passing clouds. Low 75. Winds west-southwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Monday, thunderstorms developing in the afternoon. High 92. Chance of rain 80%. Monday night, late night thunderstorms. Low 75. Chance of rain 60%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
If you take multiple medications, a dry mouth can be a common side effect. That's why there's Biotene. It comes in oral rinse, spray, or gel, so there's moisturizing relief for everyone. Biotene, for people who suffer from a dry mouth.
Are you sending your kids to school with an allergy medicine that may make them drowsy? Only Children's Claritin provides non-drowsy 24-hour allergy relief.
And it's the #1 pediatrician-recommended non-drowsy brand.
In class and out, your kids can live Claritin Clear. Discover Can-Am's wide range of industry-leading vehicles during the Ready to Ride sales event. For a limited time, the Outlander L starts at $59.99. Or get the versatile Commander, the powerful Outlander, and the turbocharged Maverick XDS with cash rebates up to $2,000. Don't miss out. Visit your local dealer during the Ready to Ride sales event. Can-Am, the ride says it all.
We could tell you about the years of research and development. How we forged advanced high-strength steel to make the frame stronger yet lighter. The countless hours spent testing the suspension and tuning every sound from the engine to the trunk. But until you get behind the wheel, you have no idea. The completely redesigned Hyundai Sonata.
Want a seat in every stadium in the league? MLB Extra Innings and Xfinity from Comcast put you in the front row for your favorite team wherever you live. With up to 80 out-of-market games a week, you can watch the games you want to watch all season long. Plus, with the X1 Sports app, you can get live scores in real time and easily switch between close games. Order MLB Extra Innings right now for just 4 easy payments of $49.75 each. Call 1-800-XFINITY or visit Comcast.com/sports today.
One look at that Red Baron pizza, and you're gonna love it from the first bite to the last. Because a perfect pizza requires a perfect crust. The sauce commands your attention. The cheese begs you to savor every bite. The pepperoni declares you have reached pizza nirvana. And that last slice?
What's it worth to you?
A perfect crust means a better pizza. Red Baron. Love at first bite. The authentic taste of a brick oven pizza. Now available from Red Baron.
All you got to do is show us something that's amazing out there. We love to see your pictures. Every picture you share, we'll try to share it as well right here on AMHQ.
Welcome back. You're watching special storm coverage here on the Weather Channel. It's been a very dangerous day all day, really, in Texas. We've had large hail, tornado reports, and the threat is still ongoing.
Yeah, it's not over yet. So let's get the latest from our severe weather expert, Dr. Greg Forbes. And Dr. Forbes, it really looks like it's the same locations across north central Texas.
Yeah, it really is, and I'll show you why in just a second. But I have some good news and some bad news. The good news is the storm that had the tornado warning no longer. It's severe thunderstorm warning. But the bad news is now it's heading for a very highly populated area, the Fort Worth metro area. So let's take a look. The question that you ask about why the same areas, well, a lot of that has to do with the jet stream. The jet stream, the main branch of it comes like this. And look how the high top thunderstorms here in our infrared type of satellite imagery shows the thunderstorm blow up over Houston. Then we have a cold pocket aloft, and it comes up like that. And look at all the thunderstorms that have blown up along that. But where it pulls apart, it's like pulling apart your hands in the top of the bathwater. Water will rise up. Well, it's the same way with the air. This is high up where the jet aircraft fly. You pull that air apart. It helps pull up air from below and help the thunderstorms today break through a cap, a warm layer aloft that would have otherwise inhibited them. So a big cluster of thunderstorms west of the Fort Worth, west and southwest of the Dallas-Fort Worth area. The lead storm there had a tornado warning on it. It no longer does. It's not rotating so strongly, but as a consequence, instead of going straight east like it had in the past, now it's coming northeast toward Fort Worth and Dallas. And I've timed that out at the rate it's been going, 8:34 for Fort Worth and 9:23 for Dallas. It is also weakening, so let's hope that weakening trend continues. But here we are. You can see it shrinking as well. The Granbury area right around now, Hood, Johnson, and Parker counties have severe thunderstorm warning. Earlier we had tornado warnings on this storm, and tracking that out in some detail, more than I showed just before, Keeler and Crescent, for example, 833, 835, 813 for those areas, mainly a hail threat now. More good news. I told you that storm was weakening south of Houston. Well, no longer warned. You can see it's falling apart as it comes closer to the coastal area, so shouldn't be any problem now at this point. South of the storm that I was talking about heading under Dallas-Fort Worth, though, this may be becoming a bigger problem. Erath County yet again, this time south of Stephenville. You can see how that storm is hooking around. It's had 3-inch hail with that teacup size, bigger than baseball size. So that could head toward the Glen Rose area. And then storm moving pretty slowly, but embedded in there a rain wrap, perhaps supercell thunderstorm, Eastland, Palo Pinto, Stephen counties with large hail and damaging wind gusts, and a combination of two what are trying to turn into little mini bow echoes, could be 70-mile-per-hour wind gusts and some maybe baseball-sized hail across Jack, Stevens, and Young County. So it's a busy night. It's still warm, 77 in Dallas, 78, 81 there in San Antonio. The dry line, dry air behind that dry line was the culprit. The air is being squeezed along that at the surface. In addition to that, pulling up aloft really made this a focal point for forming storms. Up in Oklahoma City, you're in easterly flow, cooler air, so not a tornado threat there, but a hail threat, maybe from the Texas Panhandle, southern Oklahoma, but storms may march all the way back into Houston overnight. You had a precursor round, but there could be more of that coming your way yet tonight and tomorrow. Yet again in the Houston area, maybe spreading into Louisiana and southern parts of Mississippi as this upper air system moves slowly off to the east. Jennifer, Kelly?
All right, thank you so much, Dr. Greg Forbes. And Dr. Forbes, always mentioning torcons, and it's a number we throw out quite a bit. When the torcon is a little bit high, that indicates that we have the possibility of tornadoes. So we want to explain a little bit more about what you should do if you're in that situation.
It's exclusive to right here on the Weather Channel. Dr. Forbes himself came up with this formula, and we're talking about, you know, when you've got a torcon of a 4, you multiply that by 10 to get that 40% chance of a torcon. But how far away is lightning? That's the other thing. You know, people always wonder, do you count how many seconds between seeing the flash of lightning and hearing the thunder?
Well, when you see the lightning, the sound travels at about 1,100 feet per second there. So again, if you can see the lightning, hear the thunder, you just need to get inside immediately to some safe shelter before you can determine the distance across that area. You count like 1,000 to 2, 1,000, and that usually indicates how far away it is.
Yeah, typically we're at a swim meet. Everybody's wondering, okay, you got to wait a half hour before you last hear the thunder. But really, when you're hearing thunder, you're close enough to be struck by lightning. Just 5 seconds, that lightning bolt is 1 mile away, and sometimes these lightning bolts can extend far away from the base of that thunderstorm.
And a lot of lightning with all those thunderstorms we're seeing in Texas. And of course, stay right here. We're going to keep you posted on all the severe weather across the Lone Star State.
That's right. We'll keep breaking in when there's a bad situation going on, especially with those storms getting close to the Dallas-Fort Worth metro. In fact, I'll be back in just about 60 seconds with an update. Once again, we want to remind everybody that we are under the threat for tornadoes. This is a tornado watch, including Dallas and Fort Worth. It goes until 11 o'clock tonight. That means conditions are favorable. We could see damaging thunderstorms possibly rotate and produce tornadoes. Right now, we do not have tornado warnings. However, these storms are rapidly working their way toward the Fort Worth area. This is a severe thunderstorm located near Granbury, moving toward the northeast. So Hood, Johnson, Parker counties under a severe thunderstorm warning until 8:15 Central Time. There could be some large hail with these thunderstorms, dangerous lightning, and heavy downpours, again working its way toward the Fort Worth area. As we head through tomorrow, we're still going to watch eastern Texas over towards Louisiana, southern Mississippi, and the western panhandle of Florida, southern Alabama. We'll be watching you guys as far as the tornado threat goes. Given about a 4 out of 10 here in the eastern parts of Texas. That's a 40% chance of tornadoes tomorrow. Stay with us. We'll have updates throughout the evening.
My name's Bill. This looks ridiculous. That's my best friend Ryan. I want to be angry. And his crazy old man Poppy.
I think I just made Mother Nature my bitch.
When we're off the clock, we're on a mission.
We have a deadline. Let's get fired up.
To outsmart Mother Nature.
Come on, wind.
And take on the chaos she creates for folks around town.
Holy cow. The front's coming in.
With a little junk.
Look what I found.
And a whole lot of ingenuity.
This is great.
It's almost like we planned it. There's no problem we can't solve. This is Brainstormers.
I was afraid this was going to happen. With the weather changing, it was getting so cold.
I don't know, maybe go down there, do some poking around?
Yeah.
There's no clear spot down here.
Right here might be pretty good. This is easier to get to.
Okay.
Whoa. I bet.
It's a very busy day and afternoon, now evening for parts mainly Texas. We've had hail to softball size. We've had 9 reports of tornadoes. One of those storms weakening but heading into the Fort Worth metro area. We do have a tornado watch until 11 p.m. that includes the Dallas and Waco areas just to the east of the Abilene area. Additional severe thunderstorm and tornado watches across the area. We've just had the cancellation of the tornado watch for the Houston metro area. Severe thunderstorm watch down toward a little bit farther south of the Dallas and Waco area as well. The situation we have here is jet stream is really blasting across southeast parts of Texas. Big spinning cold upper low off into New Mexico and the Texas Panhandle. So that has been pulling apart the air. It's like pulling apart your hands in the top of the bathtub. Water will rise up. Well, the same thing happens here. This air pulls north. This pulls east. The air rises up from near the ground up toward the jet stream level, and that is where we've had a big explosion of thunderstorms today. And they just keep mulling around not very far away to the southwest of Dallas. All of our severe thunderstorm warnings are in that little cluster now. Houston, the storm that had been previously tornado warned and most recently severe warned, that has totally dissipated now. So we're mostly focusing on areas west of Fort Worth. We'll zoom in on that, and still some severe thunderstorms coming up here. This is the one that has had previously a tornado warning and tornado with it. It has taken a bit of a left turn now and heading up into the Dallas-Fort Worth area. Fort Worth about 850, Dallas about 939. That said, it is weakening. It probably has gone from, at this point, having softball-sized hail now to golf ball-sized hail. We'll hope that downward trend in hail probabilities continues. Right now, we still have Hood, Johnson, and Parker counties under severe thunderstorm warning, with that storm now just to the north and east of Granbury. But you can see it there shrinking in size and not quite as red as it had been, so the amount of hail in this storm is weakening. This one, on the other hand, on its heels, is getting pretty strong. We're talking about Erath, Hood, and Somerville counties. This one south of Stephenville. Stephenville, from that previous storm, had 4 1/4 inch hail. This one is going to be heading over more toward Glen Rose. We'll continue to watch this one east of Dublin, see if it gets a tornado warning on it. It has had 3-inch hail, bigger than baseball size with that. Then look at this storm here. There is a rotation in this one just to the south and east of Strawn. We'll watch and see if we get a tornado warning on that. Near I-20, it's going to be a rough go. There's going to be some hail, some high winds in there across parts of Erath, Palo Pinto, and Stephen counties. And then yet one more. These storms, little bow echoes, they have had some warnings on those. We'll see if they get reissued across the area near Graham. Those storms would head up toward the Decatur area. So it is a busy night. We've had storms fire up today where this warm air from the Gulf of Mexico, very moist air, has been hitting drier air coming in from the west behind this, what we call a dry line. That's the west edge of the Gulf of Mexico moisture. Stationary front, much cooler east flow across Oklahoma. Looks like your threat is pretty minimal now. If it would be small hail, but still anywhere into Dallas and into eastern Texas, southeast Texas, central Texas overnight tonight, there is that threat for severe thunderstorms. And tomorrow, probably east of the I-35 corridor, across into parts of Louisiana, southern Mississippi, again, hail damaging winds, some very heavy rain, and eastern Texas especially, a chance of a tornado. We'll continue to keep you updated as these storms head toward the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex and any other tornado warnings. For the moment, we'll take you back to your program.
Pretty efficiently with a Pelton wheel type of a generator.
Pelton wheel is comparatively new when it comes to water wheels. Patented in 1880 by Lester Allen Pelton, a coal miner in San Francisco, the Pelton wheel was fundamental in the progress of hydroelectricity. The wheel is driven by a high-pressure jet of water that rotates spoon-shaped buckets. Pelton designed the buckets to have a splitter ridge, so when the jet of water hits the center of the bucket, it's emptied just as fast as it's filled. In the process, none of the kinetic energy is wasted.
How much are these Pelton wheels?
Somewhere between $1,000 and $2,000, but that's just the generator. You got to think of all this diversion pipe here. If you got 500 or 600 feet of pipe that you would...
Based on what Gary was saying, a Pelton wheel would give us tons of energy, but it's just not an option for us because it's way too expensive to build. And besides, Lila said that whatever we created had to be pretty.
What's the most cost-effective thing to produce the most amount of power? An undershot wheel, which the water would go underneath like a water wheel. Then having a deep section of water with smooth running and fast running flow would be very beneficial to us. The biggest diameter we're going to get is going to generate the most power here.
An undershot water wheel rotates around a horizontal axle, just like a car tire. Small blades on the outside of the wheel are strategically placed to continually catch the water flowing underneath the wheel. Not only are undershot wheels cost-effective, but they don't require a lot of vertical height drop to get going. This might just be our best bet to helping Lila get some supplemental energy.
Maybe if we can get Bill to use his measuring stick, we can estimate the depth of that. We can start calculating how much torque and how much horsepower we can generate.
I'm not exactly sure why I was the one singled out to take the plunge, so to speak.
Yeah, be careful though, Bill.
You're not going to find me if I fall in, though. Woo! But I'll take one for the team.
Out here? Well, if you can get down there in the smooth flow there, that's the best. If you can get in there.
A little farther, Bill. Whoa, look at that. Oh,
Yeah, he is.
It's about 1.5 feet deep.
Good thing you got long legs.
Oh, man.
Good job. Even if you're only getting, 200 or 300 watts of energy, it's all the time.
Yeah.
It's 24 hours a day. And so that adds up.
Yeah.
Let's go do it.
Let's get on up there.
Yeah.
It sounds like our plan could work and help Lila. Now, how we're going to build it, well, that's another question.
Did somebody order cable spools?
Nice. Where'd you guys get those?
We know people. Poppy and I grabbed some old electrical spools from the back of the barn to size them up for our micro hydro power wheel. It's exactly the shape we need, and because it's made of resinous wood, it won't rot in the water. We'll have more water hitting this one, so our scoops will actually be a little bit more effective if we go wider.
We don't need a ton of water, and this is a little bit more shallow.
More water flow hitting it, easier to place on the river.
I like more water flow.
I agree, more water flow.
Okay,
This is our baby. We're repurposing the slats on this spool into our water scoops. And the trick here is to space them so we get max power. Too few scoops and we don't get enough power. Too many scoops and they get in the way of each other. So taking our 2-foot diameter wheel and the depth of the water into account, it would get us 8 blades this way.
8.5 inches between them.
Yeah.
We use 8 of them.
We're figuring we'll have 8 scoops spaced every 9 or 10 inches around the edge. But our wheel needs to spin around an axle and it's got to be solid. So Ryan went digging and found something that might just do the trick.
Guys, I'm taking apart this shaft. This came out of an old manure spreader. You could use this to weld to for the hub assembly.
The old drive shaft can work great as an axle. It'll fit right through the center of the wheel. But we still need to find a way to transmit the circular motion of the wheel and axle to an alternator that'll make electricity. All right, while you guys do the axle assembly, I'm gonna go ahead and get started on the slots for the scoops in the wheel. Each of our 8 scoops is 6 by 24 inches. And with a minimum water speed of about 4 miles per hour, our wheel should do about 15 revolutions per minute. Add a good alternator, and that could translate to a low-end power outlet of just over 200 watts. On its own, that's enough power for maybe a TV or maybe a few light bulbs. But if we can figure out a way of making that power work all day long, we could really savor a bundle.
I'm trying to figure out why this isn't going to work, but I got to tell you did a great job.
Being complimented on my wheel by the man that invented the wheel, that's...
Don't cry.
Why do I put up with you guys? I'm just trying to figure that out. Why do I put up with you guys, huh?
Willie's wheel.
I don't want to brag, but this was awesome. Coming up.
Some of these animals are worth $2,000, $3,000, $4,000. If you lose that kind of money, it's a big deal.
What's going on here, guys?
Can you get it down? Don't wreck it, don't wreck it, don't wreck it.
Now at Boston Market, new slow braised pulled pork. So tender, it falls apart. Topped with zesty barbecue or garlic citrus sauce. A bold new taste from the slow roasting experts at Boston Market.
6 smoky hours, 1 tasty dish. Slow braised pulled pork, now at Boston Market.
The Fiat 500 isn't alone anymore. It's part of a big Italian family.
Jack's heart attack didn't come with a warning. Today's doctor has him on a Bayer aspirin regimen to help reduce the risk of another one. If you've had a heart attack, be sure to talk to your doctor before you begin an aspirin regimen.
So you ready for the night? And don't it feel nice?
Summer never looks so good. Bud Light Lime. Same 100% natural lime flavor in a new bottle. Summer on.
Andrew, Rita, Sandy. Meet Chris, Jackie, Joe. Minor damage or major disaster. When you need us most, we're there. State Farm. We're a force of nature, too.
25,000 mornings, give or take, is all we humans get. We spend them on treadmills, we spend them in traffic, and if we get lucky, really lucky, it dawns on us to go spend them in a world where a simple sunrise can still be magic. 25,000 mornings. Make sure some of them are pure Michigan. Your trip begins at michigan.org.
All you got to do is show us something that's amazing out there. We love to see your pictures. Every picture you share, we'll try to share it as well right here on AMHQ.
Hey, look at that, buddy. So horses and cows in the same field. Is that smart?
Yeah. It teaches the horses not to be afraid of the cows.
We were working on Lila's water wheel when we got a call from one of Padre's old friends, Dave, who's a local cattle rancher. Who needs help with a really serious problem.
How do you need our help? Well, we have so much to do on the ranch, we just can't keep an eye on our cows as well as I would like to.
Dave runs a 1,000-acre beef ranch with over 100 prize cattle. But he's worried about keeping track of them all with the cold weather that's about to come in. In the winter months, cattle grow a protective coat for added warmth. But when temperatures drop below 20 degrees, they need to be brought inside, especially if there's precipitation involved. Colorado weather can change in the blink of an eye. Dave needs a way to locate all of his cows at a moment's notice to keep them out of harm's way. On a 1,000-acre ranch, that's tough.
Some of these animals are worth $2,000, $3,000, $4,000. If you lose that kind of money, it's a big deal.
Yeah, have you thought about maybe putting cameras and various points on the ranch?
On 1,000 acres, you'd have to have one in every ravine. I know you guys are good thinkers and come up with some great ideas. See what you guys come up with. The guys bring up the idea of surveillance of our cows. I'm game.
Colorado temperatures can be frigid, so we better get going before the next cold front moves in.
So, Bill, you got any ideas on what you want to do?
I'm thinking about using a drone.
A drone? Huh. Not a bad idea. Yeah, let's do it.
I'm definitely looking forward to this one, guys. I'm excited to see what we can do.
I would agree.
This is awesome. We're going to build a drone. Flying electronics and helping people doesn't get much better than this for me. Hey, it's Christmas.
How are you?
What's up, Bernie? Dave has 1,000 acres to cover, so we need to build a drone and get it at least 200 feet in the air. That could give him an aerial view of about 1 mile. But we're going to need a little bit of guidance on this one, so I called up my fellow techie friend, Bernie.
I had some parts that thought you might find useful.
Typically, the type of drone we would need to build here would be somewhere in the $4,000 range, and that is just not an option. And Bernie's just like us, though, and he's always looking to help out somebody in the community. So come hell or high water, we're going to make do with the parts he's donated.
You've heard of quadcopter, maybe?
Yeah.
These have actually been around for quite a long time.
Really?
Absolutely.
Believe it or not, one of the first successful helicopter designs in history was almost identical to this. Invented in 1922 and coined the Flying Octopus, George de Beautazat successfully piloted his invention after being contracted by the U.S. Army Air Corps. By the end of 1923, Beautazat's helicopter had made over 100 short, low-altitude flights, but it was a little too difficult to fly. I mean, imagine one guy having control the thrust of each propeller individually. But a drone-sized quadcopter just doesn't have enough juice to survey Dave's massive ranch. We're gonna need something bigger.
This one's an octocopter. It has 2 motors on each arm.
Does that give it greater mobility and lift?
A little more lift. Second, we have some redundancy. So if a motor fails or some electronics on one of the arms fails, we have enough lift to keep it
like on a
in the
real aircraft system with all the redundancies on the F-16s and stuff.
Absolutely.
So, I was an F-16 crew chief in the Air Force, so I know a little bit about aviation electronics. To be able to build a micro-sized version of my jet, man, I'm like a kid in a candy shop.
Can we meet once you're finished and we can go through it and see if we can get this thing up in the air?
Can you keep your cell phone on?
Absolutely.
Awesome. Thanks, Bernie. Appreciate it.
Wow, this is very cool.
Bernie left us with a box of drone goodies. So now it's up to us to turn this octocopter into a cow compass.
Okay, so we'll just get some sockets here.
First and foremost, we need to build a drone that is able to carry a camera and all the electronics that it needs. So we have to make sure that we give this thing plenty of thrust, but also keep it lightweight. Got some legs.
Wow, look at that carbon fiber. That's amazing stuff.
Stuff's so light and strong. To keep it light, the frame is built out of carbon fiber, which is actually stronger than steel, but about half the weight.
From a leg standpoint, these guys going out.
That's looking awesome. Nice work.
It's the easy part.
Ryan's right. We got through the easy part. Now we have to get the control board wired up.
Control board, the brains of the operation, huh?
With 8 motors and propellers, this baby's got to be perfectly balanced at all times. And in order to do that, we have to install this flight controller, which is literally the brains of the drone. It has an accelerometer chip inside, just like the one that tells your smartphone which way it's tilting. And the flight controller uses that to keep the drone level in the air despite things like wind or a motor failure. The wiring is very delicate, and even a small shift could cause a major malfunction. An F-16 has 7 miles of wire. Wow.
Just a matter of figuring out where it goes, right?
That's definitely the fun part.
Don't touch the sides.
Oh, there we go. Boom. So we got the control board wired up, but we've got a long way before we can test this thing out. We need to add a few more goodies before we can turn it into the cow compass of Dave's dreams. That's looking awesome. Nice work.
Okay, backing away. What's going on here, guys?
Don't wreck it, don't wreck it.
Whoa! You guys be really careful, will you?
Whoa!
Tonight, a few passing clouds. Low 75. Winds west-southwest at 10 to 15 miles per hour. Monday, thunderstorms developing in the afternoon. High 92. Chance of rain 80%. Monday night, late night thunderstorms. Low 75. Chance of rain 60%. Here's our 7-day outlook.
Gonna wash the dust off my soul. Gonna listen to some rock and roll. No cares, come what may. I'm making a beautiful day.
You're only young once, unless you have a Subaru.
Drive
The Subaru XV Crosstrek. Symmetrical all-wheel drive plus 34 mpg. Love. It's what makes a Subaru a Subaru.
I went to Ancestry.com, but I thought, I'm not going to make it very far. I knew my parents and my grandparents, and then it happened. I got a leaf. When I clicked on it, I could actually see my grandfather's draft card from World War I and his U.S. Census from 1910, and another member's tree that had my great-grandparents and their parents and everything. And it all started with my first leaf.
Who will you discover at Ancestry.com?
Now? Can I at least put my shoes on?
If your bladder is calling the shots, you may have a medical condition called overactive bladder, or OAB.
You've got to be kidding me. I've had enough. It's time to talk to the doctor.
Ask your doctor how Mirbetriq may help treat OAB symptoms of urgency, frequency, and leakage, which may mean fewer trips to the bathroom.
Mirbetriq Mirabegron may increase your blood pressure. Mirbetriq may increase your chances of not being able to empty your bladder. Tell your doctor right away if you have trouble emptying your bladder or have a weak urine stream. Mirbetriq may affect or be affected by other medications, so tell your doctor about all the medicines you take. Before taking Mirbetriq, tell your doctor if you have liver or kidney problems. Common side effects include increased blood pressure, common cold symptoms, urinary tract infection, and headache.
Take charge by talking to your doctor about your OAB symptoms and Myrbetriq. Find out if you can get your first prescription at no cost by visiting Myrbetriq.com.
With Nutrisystem, lose up to 15 pounds by summer and feel great.
I'm Melissa Joan Hart, and I lost 40 pounds on Nutrisystem. My energy is back, and I can't stop smiling about it.
Lose weight fast with Nutrisystem's Fast 5 Plus kit. Lose 5 pounds in your first week and 1 inch off your waist, or your money back guaranteed.
I'm GD Francis, and I lost 30 pounds on Nutrisystem. I did it, and I'm not done yet.
I'm Dan. I lost 22 pounds with Nutrisystem.
Order your 28-day Nutrisystem plan right now, including Fast 5 Plus. Get 1 week of specially selected meals, plus 1 week of energizing shakes to rev your metabolism free. And 1 week of Craving Crusher shakes to crush those cravings free.
I'm Marie, and I lost 50 pounds on Nutrisystem. There's never been a better time to get started. Trust me, Nutrisystem worked for me, and I know it'll work for you too.
Call 877-984-THIN right now and get Fast 5 Plus with shakes free.
Time.
You might have to heat that hub. Otherwise, I'd just put it in chop saw and cut it off.
I'll get the chop saw. We got a good start building Dave's drone, but we have a lot of work to do on Lila's water wheel.
It's a pretty big old house, and it's really hard to heat.
Once we get this all put together and set up in the creek, we're hoping it'll knock off at least a few $100 off of our energy bill this year. We've got a good start on the wheel, and Ryan and Padre are getting started on the axle.
Outside of the shop, I found a shaft from an old manure spreader we used to use on the ranch. With a few modifications, I figured it would make the perfect axle for the wheel. We cut out a circle to use as a template while we figure out how to assemble the axle. The axle is what takes the rotational motion of the water wheel and transfers it to the alternator, which makes the power. So it's got to be solid.
Bolt right through there on 4 sides?
Yeah. The axle has a pretty big job. In addition to supporting the alternator, it's going to be loaded up with all kinds of gears. Plus, they have...
Still very dangerous storms rolling across areas south and west of the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex. Better news for you in Fort Worth and Dallas, but bad news for you just east of Stephenville. A brand new tornado warning. In fact, a spotted tornado with that. So here's the big picture. Just to the south and west of the Dallas-Fort Worth Metroplex, that's where all the action is. Flash flood warnings in green, severe thunderstorm warnings in yellow, and in red, a tornado warning. Now, the immediate threat that we originally were thinking would come into Fort Worth, a storm that had tornadoes, had hail 4 1/4 inches in diameter. It has gotten so small now and weakened enough that it's no longer warned on. You'll get some lightning coming in a half hour to Fort Worth, but down to the south and west of that, so there's that shrinking storm. We have a new storm on its heels that has already produced a tornado. It has undergone, again, a very quick organization change, kind of like the one prior to it, that is weakening now coming toward Fort Worth. It's a supercell thunderstorm. It has a hook echo. The hook echo is rapidly changing. Erath and Somervell counties, you have a tornado warning for you, and that would generally be coming toward the area again near Chalk Mountain that had a tornado there earlier, up toward the Glen 8:30, Glen Rose about 8:50 p.m. Now, there's 2 locations. There's a little bit of a hook here that could have a tornado right on that, and then there could be a circulation back on the back side of that. The tornado was reported here. Right now, the tornado circulation, the velocities do not look too impressive at this point. Maybe a little bit of a tornado there. It's re-intensified in the last couple of minutes since I just looked at that. So the tornado would be inside this little hook coming out toward the area just south of Chalk Mountain, just south of the Glass area, and that would be the location of this particular tornado. So it's undergoing cycling. It weakens, it strengthens. We have additional thunderstorms that are rolling across the area. Erath, Palo Pinto, Stephen counties, one after another. These supercell thunderstorms with golf ball size hail roll across the area. And up in Graham area, Jack and Young County, we have one after another of storms. Not quite severe now, but adding to the flash flood threat. Brand new updated tornado warning for Erath and Palo Pinto counties. That's going to continue to be a threat. I'll be back in a few moments with yet another update for what's going on here in north central parts of Texas.
GPS, or Global Positioning System, was designed exclusively for the U.S. military. But when the 31 satellites that orbit the Earth were opened up for public use, getting lost was a thing of the past. Today, it's possible to know your exact location anywhere on Earth at any time, as long as you have a GPS receiver handy. When a receiver locates at least 3 of the 31 satellites, your location is determined using something called trilateration. High-frequency waves are analyzed to figure out the distance between each satellite. Those 3 distances are used to calculate your precise location.
Double stick tape to hold that piece on there. Take some electrical tape to work.
When Dave's drone uses its GPS to figure out where it is, it'll send that location to Dave's computer. So when Dave sees a cow that needs attention, he'll have a record where it's located, and he'll know exactly where to go. Wow.
Cool. Good job.
Now all we have to do is hook the battery up and make sure this thing can still lift off with all the additional features. Now if it passes the test, we can get it over to Dave's, and he can use it till the cows come home.
Well, what I'll do first is go ahead and charge this bad boy up. How do you know it's a boy?
It's a male plug.
That's a female plug, bro.
The male plug goes inside the female plug. I thought certainly by now Padre would have had that talk with you.
I'm not focused, dude. Holy. I'm not doing anything wrong.
Okay.
Okay.
Uh-oh.
Incredible. I've been Claritin Clear for 10 days.
When your allergy symptoms start, doctors recommend taking 1 Claritin every day of your allergy season for continuous relief.
With powerful 24-hour non-drowsy Claritin, live Claritin Clear. Every day.
True Green presents The Yardleys.
Drives down the lane. Beautiful.
Oh, come on.
Big man underneath.
Come on. Isn't the pink there?
Puts it up off the glass and it's in for 2.
This is more than a lawn. This is a True Green lawn. Live life outside with True Green, America's #1 lawn care company. Spring is on. Start your True Green lawn plan today. True Green, live life outside.
Where do you get this kind of confidence? At your Ford dealer, that's where. Our expert trained technicians, state-of-the-art technology, and warranted parts keep your vehicle running right. It's no wonder we sold more than 3.5 million tires last year. And during the Big Tire event, get a $120 mail-in rebate on 4 select tires.
These days, you may be hearing more about data breaches in the news. It's possible your personal information may be at risk. Research shows that if your information is compromised due to a data breach, you are 6 times more likely to become a victim of identity theft. Now is the time to get protection. Sign up today, and LifeLock will begin monitoring your personal information, including your social security number, alert you about suspicious activity, and, if needed, take steps to help restore your losses.
You only have one identity. Protect it with the best. LifeLock.
Next.
Expected wait time, 55 minutes. Your call is important to us. Thank you for your patience.
In the nation, we know how it feels when you aren't treated like a priority. We do things differently.
We'll take care of it.
We put members first.
Thank you.
Join the nation.
Nationwide is on your side.
Cause there ain't no time, 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 right here, right now. Ain't no time, ain't no time, ain't no time, right here, right now.
HBO Now available on your favorite Apple devices. Download the app to start your 1-month free trial today.
I recommend Nature Made fish oil because I trust their quality. They were the first to have a product verified by USP, an independent organization that sets strict quality and purity standards.
Nature Made, the #1 pharmacist recommended fish oil brand.
I say get as far away from civilization as possible. What do you think, Bernie?
I think it's a wonderful idea.
We've been working on a water wheel for Lila that we hope will generate some power and offset her utility bills. Now, since we're waiting for some parts to finish it up, we decided to go ahead and test out the Cow Compass drone that we rigged up for Poppy's friend Dave. Before we bring it over, we've got to make sure we can get it off the ground. We asked Bernie to stop by and help troubleshoot any issues that might come up, but only in case. How about this? Perfect, because I think we got a good thing going here.
Okay, backing away. Clear the air.
Turn it on. Turn it on.
On's a good place to start. Clear overhead obstructions.
Warning, this guy has never flown one before. Please hand me to somebody else. That is so weird that it knows that.
Yeah.
Hold it down. Hold it. You did.
We now have 2 storms with tornado warnings in the areas west and southwest of Fort Worth. The storm immediately coming into Fort Worth has weakened, but east of Stephenville and then additional storm to the north of that, maybe 3 circulations with tornadoes. Let's take a look. Here's the big picture. We have a jet stream that blasts across southeast Texas from the west-southwest, an upper low that is pulling winds more toward the north and even in some places there in Kansas toward the northwest. So the air pulling apart there is allowing air to rise up from below. This pulling apart is up where the jet aircraft fly. So air is rising up, and this has been the focal point all day off to the west of Dallas, east of Abilene for the severe thunderstorms. 2 tornado warnings in red there. Green, a flash flood warning for storms that just keep running over the same path. Taking a look here, the first storm that earlier had softball-sized hail and tornadoes, it is weakened. It is just an ordinary thunderstorm now coming into Fort Worth, but down to its southwest flank and its west flanks, we have new storms that have that considerable tornado threat. This storm, you can see how it's a supercell thunderstorm wrapping around with a hook. It has had a tornado reported from about 7 miles east of Stephenville. The tornado would be right inside that hook now, heading toward the Glen Rose area. So dangerous storm with a history of producing a tornado. There's been a funnel cloud sighted here at Chalk Mountain. That's right about where the tornado threat is right now, coming toward Glen Rose and Brazos Point, Rio Vista. You see in the upper right there the times for that. Brazos Point about 9:02 as this storm's heading east at 30 to 35 miles per hour. Taking a look at high resolution, you can see some big hail, maybe baseball size or larger, in the Chalk Mountain, Glass, Glen Rose areas. And then the hook wraps around, and the warm air, that's some of the rain, cool air wrapping around. The hook is out to the east of it has the warm air coming in, and so the circulation would be right in here. Let's see what the storm, what the velocity says. It shows a possibility of a tornado here. Generally in this area, it would be a little bit south of Chalk Mountain right now, heading its way off toward the area just south of Glass in the Glen Rose area. While I have this, I'll go back to the normal way of looking at this. We'll have the high resolution radar up. I'm going to slide northwest, and we actually have 2 storms here that are within the same warning. The southern one, you can see how there's a hook echo wraps around here in the area north of Huckabee area toward the Morgan Mill area. So there could be a tornado there heading toward the Lipan and north of Morgan Mill. Let's take a look at the velocities on that one. There's actually a pretty well-defined velocity signature there. So dangerous storm, dangerous tornado potential in the storm there. I'll go back to the normal way of looking at the radar and sliding up. This one is hiding. There's another supercell thunderstorm that is hiding in there. Let's see if we can use the Doppler radar to see the rotation. Oh, yes, we can. There's the red and green. So circulation there heading into the area from south of Santo off toward the east-northeast. So 2 circulations within the same warning here. We'll get this warning out to you. 2 circulations I showed in Erath and Palo Pinto counties, and I'll try to track them out for you then individually. The northern of the 2 is near Santo, heading about 9:02 toward the Dennis area, and the southern of the 2 is near coming toward the Morgan Mill, Patillo area, the Center Mill area, right at the times you see there in the white box there at the top. So dangerous storms getting very, very complex, rain-wrapped. You may not see them coming. Speaking of rain, a lot of heavy rain up around the Graham area, Jack and Young counties with that flash flood warnings there. So all of this got going today out along this scalloped dry line where warm, moist air from the Gulf of Mexico met up with dry air from the west and southwest, and the storms have developed there, pushed east. It's still plenty warm enough, plenty unstable enough for these storms to continue to march eastward. a small hail threat in southern parts of Oklahoma, but coming into Dallas, coming to San Antonio, coming to the Houston area tonight, we still have that severe thunderstorm and isolated tornado threat. Biggest tornado threat up where you're seeing it. Areas just to the south of the Dallas area, tornado condition index still a 4. 40% chance of a tornado within 50 miles. East Texas tomorrow also will have a Torcon of 4 in the afternoon and evening hours. Stay safe. We'll continue to give you updates. Now back to your program for now.
Axle. But now we need to set up an alternator and draw power from it. That will hopefully create enough energy to cut down on our bills. I was shopping. I went on a shopping expedition, and I think I found just what we need.
Looks like an alternator.
That's our juice.
Exactly. This company actually takes old alternators, puts permanent magnets in them, and these are used pretty exclusively for wind and water power systems. Once we get it all set up, we'll attach a waterproof cable to run the power.